morning. Got some almond milk this morning. Have you noticed that, I'm sure it's to cut down on the amount of plastic. They've been making some of these caps shallower and shallower. It's hard to get a hold of them sometimes to open them up. Oh, and talking about things that they do, they being, who knows, in the old Tarzan movies, I remember the ones with Johnny Weissmuller, they used to talk about, the British would be in Africa and they'd say, we'll have to tell the authorities. And, I never knew who the authorities were, but the authorities, to me are like the people who make the decisions on how shallow those caps are. Or here's a good one. Just checking on Grayson. Okay, he's laid out there after eating his breakfast. We already went for a walk. We went 0.83 miles. Anyway, on the Roku Channel, I've been watching Tiny House Hunting on there. Oh, fascinating show. But anyway, I noticed that the commercials on the Roku Channel, instead of the volume being way high like it is on a lot of other channels, it's lower, so that you have to really focus and concentrate to listen. And actually what I found, and I wonder if the authorities at the Roku Channel decided to do it this way, that if you heard or saw something that intrigued you or interested you in some way, you would really pay attention. And sure enough, when the ads are really quieter than the shows, I'm, kind of listening a lot more than the channels where they have the really loud ads. I mean, some of the channels, the ads are so loud that I actually have to turn it down with my remote because I'm afraid the neighbors are going to complain or something. Also, it's just annoying. But, I tend to tune that stuff out. But when it's quiet, I pay more attention. Very good, Roku Channel. I think that's effective. Who else, has an opinion about that? Well, anyway, so let me get to making coffee here, and then I have something to tell you about. So, okay, let's see here. I think I'll have Stormio today. In my pretty cup that's got some flowers on the inside too. Okay, so you know how sometimes in your life you say to yourself, oh, if I had only done such and such, then, this would be the situation. But I didn't. Oh, well, I went ahead and made a decision to go visit my daughter and her family in Germany. And I was going to go October to November, some dates in there. And, I've been thinking about it, finally decided, I'm going to make a decision, pick some dates, look for flights, how that takes a while. Resisted feeling frustrated and upset dealing with the whole online process and a slow internet, and got some flights, paid for the tickets. I was looking at the requirements to fly internationally, and I thought, oh, I think I know where my passport is, but I better just, go and make sure. Found my passport. It was where I thought it was. It was expired. Oh my gosh. So I thought, oh, it's okay. I've got like 2 months before I go. I'll apply to renew it. So I get online to see if I can do this online, and it says it takes 18 weeks to get your new passport. If you want to pay extra money, we can cut that time down to 12 weeks. That's 3 months. And oh my gosh. Well, I thought, well, it says, by 12 weeks. So maybe I can still do that. Well, I went online again and I was looking around, and apparently, who would have thought, but because of COVID, it has caused all sorts of delays in the passport system. I don't know why. I don't know if it's personnel or who knows. But I was reading that, it takes a long time. And so I thought, well, let me go on Facebook and ask what other people's experiences might have been. So can you see that? Isn't that pretty? Oh, it's here, let me show you. I really, when I see something like this, the crema, oh my goodness. Well, anyway, so I post on Facebook and I start getting all these replies. I said, can anyone offer me any encouragement? Nope. Well, one person posted and said, I'm supposed to be in Jamaica today, but when I went to get my passport out, I saw it was expired. So that was the end of that trip. And that made me feel a little bit better. At least I'm not the only one that lets passports expire. But I mean, how often do you look at your passport if you don't travel real frequently? Anyhow, so most people said, I applied 8 weeks ago, still waiting, and so on and so forth. Anyhow, nobody was able to offer any positive encouragement. So back to my point, do you ever say, oh, if I had only, I could be beating myself up, thinking, gee whiz, if you had only looked at your passport, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. If you had only kept up with this, you should have put it in your calendar, 10 years ago that your passport was going to expire on this date. I mean, I'm not doing that because you know what? I used to work for somebody who used to say, it is what it is. And I didn't understand what the heck he meant most of the time. But I understand it now. This situation is what it is. What am I going to do about it? I cannot go back and change the past. So am I going to beat myself up over it? No. What good is that going to do? I do have an appointment at the post office this morning for them to help me expedite sending things off. But I think I'm going to have to get online and change the dates of the flights because I cannot count on getting my passport within the next 2 months in time for the flights that I made. And then I have another daughter that's having a baby about, let's see, how long from now? 4 months from now. So, it's just problematic. If I set my flight times to go a little after 3 months to make sure I have the passport, well then I'm running into the time when my daughter might have the baby, like in case she has it early, or if she has a lot of needs close to the time that she's due. But a friend of mine texted me, when she found out what was going on, and she said, so what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to have to push the dates further away. And she said, maybe it'll be even better. And I think that's a wonderful way to think, that there's a reason that things are not working out the way I had hoped. And however else I figure out how to do it, maybe it'll be even better. That's a good way to think. So look, if something has happened in your life and you're thinking, oh, what is wrong with me? Why did I do that? Or why didn't I do something? Stop it. You can't change the past. Give up the hope for a better past. Okay? And it is what it is. So let's move on from there. Well, it's time to sit down on the couch with Grayson and have some coffee. Watch the birds. You have a good day. Make good decisions.